It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudist, and Naturist.
Welcome to Naked, Nudist, and Naturist, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome into Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 215 today. That's right, you heard me correctly, episode 215. Really glad that you are here, ready to go to enjoy clothes-free living for all of the right reasons for the next hour. We must dive in right away. We have Lisa Monroe coming up in just a moment. And then a little before the halfway point of today's show, part 2 with Nancy Sigl, a genuine nudist, done a little bit of nude acting, and lives year-round at Laguna del Sol Nudist Resort. I hear some music that can only mean one thing. It's time for the great, the terrific, the completely over-the-top, fully clothes-free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the one of a kind, the completely clothes-free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Good morning, Frank. I'm doing very, very well today. And how about yourself?
Not bad. You seem extra perky today. Do you have extra coffee or extra sleep, or what's going on there?
I've had more coffee this morning than normal. And besides, it's a gorgeous day. Going to be a gorgeous day, even though it's hot. So, you can't complain.
Well, that's right. Now, what kind of coffee do you drink again? I forgot the brand name you bring in.
Tim Hortons.
Oh, yes.
I know someone who may have told me about Tim Hortons, and I love it.
That was my go-to until I came to Florida and couldn't find it. And I could order it, but you know how that goes. You forget to order it. You wake up one day, no coffee. So I found a substitute. I can't even think of what it's called. Oh, Folgers. I couldn't remember what I was drinking. Yeah.
Folgers was my coffee before. So.
Okay, so that does a pretty good job.
Yeah, it
When
does.
you make your coffee for yourself, do you make it on the strong side or medium or weak?
Strong.
Okay.
Can't stand weak coffee, weak tea, anything like that.
All right. Did you ever, like when you were a kid, did you have coffee? Did your parents allow you to have any?
Actually, I was probably in maybe junior high before I got to have a taste.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I was in high school, I could have a cup or like a half a cup or something if I wanted, but not very on a regular basis. My parents were coffee fiends. I mean,
okay.
So
mine too.
So it was kind of a known thing that I would become a coffee drinker. So,
oh, same with me. And I remember I kept begging, let me try some, And it was always no. And finally, okay, you can try some. But they dialed it up with so much cream and sugar.
Yeah.
I was actually having a cup of cream and sugar with a sprinkle of coffee on the side. But anyway, those days are gone. Now it's, straightforward.
Straight black
nothing
coffee.
added. Absolutely. Black and strong. Let's go. And after that first sip, we're ready to go. And you must have had 2 sips because you're extra perky.
I certainly have. Maybe 3. So you never know.
But alone, how many cups do you pound down a day on the average?
Less now than I used to.
Right. Normal.
Probably 2 at minimum, and then I might have a third or so later, but that's pretty much it.
Well, that's fairly reasonable. I used to go a minimum of 10 per day back in the day. I don't do that anymore.
Yes.
I never go more than 4, which is even getting to 4 is not a regular thing. But
right.
Anyway, I'm just glad you're perky and ready to go.
Yes, I'm here and awake.
All right. Everybody knows we have a Patreon page. You know why. I won't say it again. Maybe I'll say it next week, though. It's been a month since I've said it or so. I bet everybody knows why. We just thank you for stepping forward and helping us with the expenses on the show. And we try to highlight 2 people on every show who are PPPs. Lisa Monroe, who do we have today?
Today we have Joe and Brian. So welcome aboard, guys.
Definitely. Joe, thank you very much. Brian, thank you very much. And a huge thank you to all of our PPPs, again, for keeping this thing going. And we talked about the various tiers
Hmm.
of when you're a PPP, and we won't go through those today because if we do, I suspect we're going to get to the end of the segment and still not have gotten your full naked boat story out there.
There's
We
not much else to tell.
Well, I told you I have questions, so there's a lot
Oh,
more than you think.
oh my gosh. Oh
So
my
I
gosh.
do want to save time for that. So
Okay.
maybe on next Saturday's show or Wednesday's show, we'll get to that. But
Okay.
at the top level, what you're called a patron, a
Hmm.
Patreon patron.
Hmm.
That just sounds fancy. And
It
if
does.
you're one of those, you get it all, and you get
Mhm.
video of the show every week. You might not get the whole show. You might. If you want that, we can certainly give it to you. But we try to give you at least one video clip a week, and sometimes as many as three. People love to have the video. We toyed with that forever. Should we? Should we not? I don't know.
Mhm.
And then we did, and the recipient said, yes, now
Yes.
it all makes sense. I could put
Yes.
faces with voices, and it just zoomed in on their hearts a little bit more. So if you're at the top level, you get video every single week.
Hmm.
All right, how are we doing on merchandise? Anything new and
Doing
groovy?
great on merchandise. All they need to do is go to nakednudistandnaturist.com and click on in and shop, and they'll find all sorts of goodies: towels, mugs, water bottles, uh, t-shirts, hoodies, just about anything that you might need. Tote bags. So, just check it out, and you'll be set for your next outing as a naturist.
All right. Now, I have not been to the merchandise part of our website in the last
Hmm.
week or so. By any chance, are we selling naked boat rides like the one you had at that one time we're going to talk about, or not yet?
No, we are
Okay.
not selling naked boat rides.
All right. What about bikinis that fly off when the woman is scared? Like
Uh,
it happened to you?
no bikinis either. I mean, what's the point of having bikinis in the shop?
Exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I just threw that out there to be silly
I
just
know.
as we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into your story.
obviously. No.
All right, so let me recap here. Don't interrupt now because I know you're going to try to guide this a certain way, and I'm going for the gusto. So just let me have a little fun here on August 1st. As I
Okay.
recall, you were involved in some kind of a function. Doesn't matter what function now. You described it on the last show or two. And there were two boats and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. And
Mm-hmm.
the lot of people included about 20 police officers because
Mm-hmm.
they were involved with this charity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way, you went inside or went away to do something. When you came out, one of the boats was gone,
Mm-hmm.
including, I believe, the person who you had come with to the place, right?
Yes.
Okay. We won't identify that person. It wasn't me, though. I didn't leave Lisa in the dust, but somebody did, and a whole lot of people did. And you were forced. See, that's the part you glossed over. You were forced to get on the second boat, just you and 20 male police officers. Would you like to expound on that a little bit, or should we just leave that alone?
Well, they were all nice guys. I mean, there was nothing untoward about that. I promise.
I didn't
I,
say that there was.
but yeah, this first boat had left, and the other boat was full of police officers too, and then a lot of the other people who were on the board and everything for the group. And this was a spillover boat for the people who didn't get on the first one, which was me. And
All right.
and so no, it was just it's a group of people. I knew most of them, or I had met all of them at one point in time. So it wasn't like I got on a boat full of strangers. So
Mm-hmm. No, and I didn't imply any of that. It's interesting you went there. I suspect you're guilty of something you're not confessing yet, but I have more
no,
questions. I have
no,
more. Okay.
okay, no, there was nothing to be guilty about.
No, I didn't say that there was. See, again, you keep saying things that I didn't say, but as we dive into this a little more.
All right.
All right, so everyone's downstairs. Lisa Monroe and 20 male police officers. We'll leave that to ruminate just for a moment. Now we'll continue. You decide, you know what? I'm going to go to the second deck and whip everything off except my bikini, and they'll never know. Now, what? Just back up for a second. What was the thinking there? Or did you not care if they saw you in your bikini? Or did you already have your bikini on?
Well, I had my bikini on and I had a cover up on because
Okay.
we were going out on a boat. So
Okay.
there you go.
Okay. But your cover up stayed on until you got up to the second deck?
Yes. Yes.
Did you not suspect or think for a moment, geez, I'm up here darn close to naked with 20 men downstairs? Did you think they wouldn't come up at any point at all?
It never really entered my mind, to be
Mm,
perfectly honest. They were
okay.
downstairs, talking sports or whatever and having a few cold brews, and so I wasn't the least bit concerned about that.
All right. Now you are a fairly sociable person. You like to talk to people and engage in
Hmm.
conversation. That strikes me as strange that you left 20 people. You could have talked. You could have had 20 conversations. You threw all that away to go upstairs. Why was that?
Because it was sunny and beautiful, and it was time to take to get lay in the sun and enjoy. So that's the only reason.
All right. Now, how long did you anticipate that this boat ride would last?
I think it was going to take about 20-25 minutes to get to where we were going on the lake and meet
Okay.
up with the other boat.
Okay. So that was enough time for you to sneak up there, get a little sun, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to staying downstairs like
Mm-hmm.
everybody else did and just have conversation with fellow humans.
Yeah, this is true. I
Okay.
decided to go up and get the little sun.
Okay. So you go up there, the cover up comes off. You're on a chair. I'm guessing you're on your back at this point on your chair.
Yes.
Okay. You're lying down, reclining, basking in the sun, soaking in that vitamin D. All of a sudden you hear some kind of a blowhorn or
Yeah.
foghorn or whatever, scared the wits out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You jumped up, and because you had already loosened or untied the strings of your top,
Mm-hmm.
that went flying off.
Yes.
Okay. How far away did it fly away?
Well, just basically into my lap, kind of slid off the chair. But yeah, but they didn't like go across the boat or into the
Right.
water or anything.
Well, wait a minute. You said on your lap
Yeah.
and fell off, so it can't be
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. It fell off
Okay.
onto the deck.
All right. So it's not on your lap.
No,
It's
I said it fell down on my lap and then slid off onto the deck.
okay. So you're sitting there at this point for this moment in time, fully topless, no
Mm-hmm.
chance to grab any clothes and put them on because they were on the
Mm-hmm.
floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's right.
all right, and that's when you discovered sweet biscuits and gravy. 20 officers are looking at me.
Yes, so they thought it was going to be really funny to come up and surprise me, and then I guess they got surprised too. But it was just it was just an innocent prank. These guys work hard and it's
Yeah.
intense, so they play hard, pretty hard too. But
Oh
they're
yeah,
good.
I have no issue with any police officer doing anything. We respect them. I'm more interested in your side of the story. I know what they were doing. They thought because they knew you again.
Yes, they did.
You weren't just some strange woman who showed up and got nearly naked. They
Right.
already had a relationship with you.
Yes.
Was this the first time they had ever seen you in a bathing suit, or was this like a normal activity for that group?
Probably not, some of them at least, because the camp that we were going to had an Olympic-sized swimming pool on it. So believe me, I took advantage of that pool and pool deck for a lot while I was there, and we were there a lot. So
Okay.
probably not the first time
All right.
for
So
some.
how did the story end? You're sitting on the chair. You're topless. Your top is on the floor. Police officers are watching you.
Mhm.
How did it end?
Basically, it ended with them looking petrified, and because they weren't expecting that, and they were going, "Oh my," they were apologizing and everything, and I just said, "Hey, guys, this happens. It's no big deal." And I was kind of half. I mean, I was a home naturist at that time, so it didn't bother me at all to have be exposed to these people, but it's kind of it was a slight embarrassment, and it was a slight, oh my gosh, what's happened here? But it was, okay. And I just said, it's okay, guys. Funny prank. Next time you might want to make sure the bathing suit's on properly or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a while. But anyway, it ended well, but they were always petrified that I was going to tell.
Well,
I did
okay.
not.
Right.
Anyone.
Now, did they
You.
immediately leave? Like, oh, ma'am, we're really sorry. We're out of here. Or did they stay and stare and make sure you got properly dressed, or how did that unfold?
I won't say that they ran away immediately, but yeah,
Mhm.
they kind of cleared out pretty
Okay.
much. And then I got dressed and went downstairs because it'd been 10 or 15 minutes. We were getting closer to the where we were going. So, that was kind of the end of it. It was pretty innocent. It was,
Mhm.
it was just what it was. It was
All right.
funny.
All right. Now, anytime you mention police officer, I picture a police officer in uniform. this was just kind of a fun weekend thing.
Oh
So
yeah.
they were not in uniform, right? They were probably in suits as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were all
They'd be
in
suits. Yeah.
shorts or suits, and
Okay.
because it was a opening for the camp for that season before the kids came down. So
Okay. All right. I guess we'll buy that story. It sounds plausible. I saw a video recently on Twitter. These things just pop up, and it was a woman lying on the beach, topless, but she was on her stomach. So you just saw
mm-hmm,
her bare back, and
mm-hmm,
the video was taken from like behind her feet, so you could see
mm-hmm,
her whole legs
mm-hmm,
covered up rear end and then bare back. And all of a sudden, a beach ball appeared near her head, or a volleyball.
mm-hmm,
And you could see in the distance some guys playing beach volleyball. And they errant shot, the ball landed by her head.
mm-hmm.
So she jumped up, picked up the ball, and threw it to them. Again, you're seeing her from the back, they're seeing her from the front.
Yep.
They're probably thinking, holy, we should have errant shots more often. So after she threw the ball back, she got
Mm-hmm,
back in place on her
mm-hmm.
stomach. Within 5 seconds, like 15 volleyballs appeared near her head. So
Okay.
that's how it ended. But it's just,
Yeah.
I'm sure it was staged to be funny, but it was
Yes.
hilarious.
Well, there was never a repeat situation here, so
Okay, all right. Well, I wasn't going to pry. If that was going to be a regular weekly thing. Hey, see the topless Lisa Monroe on the boat today. Buy your tickets here. But I didn't go there, so I was
well,
trying to be a gentleman.
I might have been more embarrassed had I not already been comfortable being naked. Had I had been, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys did this or whatever. But for me, it was no big deal. So,
Yeah.
that's the joys of being a naturist. You don't get all bent out of shape about things that can happen sometimes quite innocently, but still,
Mm.
it's a mindset that makes it much easier.
That's true. I was consciously thinking of this just yesterday. That is the good part and bad part about being a nudist or a naturist.
Mm-hmm.
That was no big deal to you. Oh, well, my top flew off. The top I really wouldn't have had on anyway if the laws didn't say I had to. It flew off. 20 people have seen me, all men, whatever. I grab the top, throw it on because I have to by law.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the danger. It's, we're so comfortable being nude that there's never an issue with us being nude to ourselves.
Right.
Other people have a different view of that. Like, I can't believe you're naked. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I am. And so, seriously, yeah, it's not even a joke to us. It's just we're so comfortable being nude that if somebody sees us nude and has a reaction like, what are you reacting? Oh, I know. The naked thing is that, so it's good and bad, I guess, but we focus on the good.
We do focus on the good, and again, this was nothing that had any repercussions or problems because they took it in stride as well. These are
Right.
pretty seasoned guys, so they were, it was okay. But it was funny at the time. I mean, it was kind of
Right,
like, oh
right.
my gosh, what the heck? But it's not as big a story as I think Frank likes to make
Oh,
it.
I think it's a huge story. And we could take a vote on that with the listeners, but I know what the results would be. 100% big story, 0%.
Okay,
No,
okay, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that out. Sorry it took 3 episodes to get it out there. We just kept putting it at the end. And good thing we didn't put it at the end today because we're almost out of time. And if we had done this other stuff first, we would have been out of time.
Probably so.
Now, we have a couple things left. One is people have been asking about rules when you go to a nude beach. Why don't we save that for next week? Because that's going to take some time, and I don't want to just
Okay.
rush through it and say, be careful, bye, have a good day, and get to the interview. So let's go through, because we get all these requests now for our favorites in different areas. Today is our favorite TV shows, but we only have 2 or 3 minutes left. So if you don't mind, let's do your 5 favorite TV shows, or 5 of your favorites,
Okay.
in about a minute and a half. Can you do that?
I think so, if I can remember them.
right.
And I will say, if it wasn't for TV Land, I wouldn't know most of these shows.
Right. Yeah, same.
And I got addicted to that network, and that's probably all I've watched. I haven't watched broadcast TV in a long time. So anyway, here we go. And these are oldies but goodies. First off, I'm a Trekkie, so Star Trek, by far. WKRP in Cincinnati, and the Golden Girls, because I just love the interaction, and I always wanted to be Blanche. I just thought Blanche was cool. And oh gosh, I've forgotten the High Chaparral, which was a Western, which was the best Western to me ever.
Okay.
and that's a 4, right? What
Mhm.
was my 5th? I forgot what my 5th was. Oh,
I don't
goodness.
know.
Yeah,
As
I
long as
don't
you're not
either.
drinking a fifth, we're
Nope,
okay.
I'm not drinking a 5th.
All right.
I can't remember.
Not Petticoat Junction,
No,
or
not
I'm just
Petticoat
thinking some
Junction.
of the
Oh,
TV
oh,
land
well,
things.
it was a serious show. I remember. It was called Homicide: Life in the City, and it was about detectives in Baltimore, and it was one of the grittiest and most realistic heavy dramas that I saw. And, the NYPD was great. All of those shows were great, but this
Right.
show to me was grittier. So that's it. Those are my
All
5.
right. Very good. I'll go through my 5. And 3 of my 5 are the types of shows that I met with 2 reactions when I mentioned them. One is the other person starts laughing hysterically. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a great show. I love that
Yeah.
show. The other is, Frank, you need some counseling. That was a stupid show. So here we go. First one, in no particular order, Mr. Ed.
Yes, I
Mr.
know.
Ed is a show you either think is drop dead hilarious or you think it's the dumbest thing ever on TV. A talking horse. Got to
Mm-hmm.
buy the premise to buy the bit, and we go from there.
Yes.
Another one along that same line, you either love it, you get the humor, or you think it's stupid, is Gomer Pyle.
Gomer
There
was
is
great.
nobody should ever like that show. I admit that, but doggone it, I love that show.
I
TV Land
did
used to
too.
have it. And the third one that's of that ilk is Sanford and Son,
Oh,
Red
wow.
Fox and Lamont Wilson. You either
Yes,
love that show or you hate it. And
loved it.
the guy who played Fred Sanford, Red Fox, he ad libbed more lines
Yes.
than anybody could count, including the writers. Like, hey, we didn't write that. he just
But
got
it's
out.
funny.
Yeah, I'll tell more about it when we have time. But he had some issues in his life with substances, and so he didn't have time to study the lines. He was
Hmm.
passed out, so he'd just show up. What are we doing? Okay, and then he just kind of lack of a better term, BS his way through, and it was drop dead hilarious.
Yes,
If
it
you like
was.
it, and if you don't, then it wasn't. 2 more serious shows. Columbo with Peter Falk. I really
Wow.
enjoyed that show,
Yes.
and still do. And
Yes.
the last one that I just discovered a few years ago, but then ended up watching every episode, Burn Notice. Do you know that show?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember seeing a few of those, and it was good. But don't think I made up. I watched a lot of it, but it was good.
Yeah, so those are the 5 I came up with. Maybe we'll do more next time, unless we get a request for yet another list of maybe our favorite cars. I don't know. We haven't gotten that one yet, but who knows? Lisa Monroe, we must fly off here. Getting back to Nancy Sigl, part 2, lives in a nudist resort year round. She is living the life and terrific person, so we'll get to that right now. If you promise to stay naked as a jaybird, we'll get together at the end of the show. Is that a deal?
It's a deal.
All right, we'll see you then. The very terrific Lisa Monroe as she goes prancing her way to the coffee pot. Yes, I'll take some more too. Might as well, right? She offered, I said yes. We thank Lisa Monroe. She does so much around here. Brings a lot of joy. We jump for joy when she walks in, and we thank Lisa Monroe very much. Well, you are listening to Naked, Nudist, and Naturist, episode 215 today. We are really glad that you're with us. We hope that you are enjoying this hour with us, clothes-free living for all of the right reasons. Now let's get to part 2 of my interview with Nancy Sigl, a genuine nudist. Done a little bit of nude acting, not much, but a little bit in there. Lives year-round at Laguna del Sol Nudist Resort, part 2 with Nancy Sigl. And we've had a few people, I've talked about this before on the show, women in particular, if they get a call from a friend or whatever, hey, we're going to have a naked pool party. You want to come over? Sure, I'll be right there. And walk in naked and swim all night. And then they get back home and they have their clothes on all night. It's like, I don't need to be naked all the time, but I enjoy it when I am. Are you hearing that or seeing that more and more with younger people? Obviously your daughters, but anybody else?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I live under a rock. I'm not really I'm
Yeah.
because I live here at Laguna, I'm surrounded by nude people. I don't really know what's going on with the rest of the world. I did
Yeah.
do the tours here. I worked for the office maybe 2 or 3 summers ago. Um, and I spent a whole summer giving tours. And that was interesting because there were a lot of younger people coming here to do a tour, wanting to know what Laguna is all about. And some people are just curious, but it was interesting. I could get a sense of people right away, their comfort level,
Mhm.
their discomfort. That energy was very loud.
Wow.
And typically by the end of a tour, there was always an invitation for them to stay and enjoy the day here.
Okay.
And sometimes I would say it was more so the younger people that were visiting or checking out the resort that would say, not today, we'll have to come back another time.
Wow, that's
Um,
interesting. Okay.
and sometimes that's one of the partners being curious and the other one just coming along for the ride.
Yeah.
Here at Laguna del Sol, we would give tours and people would be fully clothed. I would be fully clothed on a tour, and to bring that comfort to them, drive them on a golf cart through the property, talk to them about the rules, who we are, who we aren't. But down at Glen Eden, which is another nudist clothing optional resort, I'm going to stay there this summer. It's a whole nother story. But when you do a tour to go to Glen Eden, you have to get naked to do the tour.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of weeding out those people who just want to gawk or
Yeah.
just want to um who aren't serious about their interest. If you're
Yeah.
not serious about that interest, you're not going to get fully naked. Well, when I first did a tour last summer, when I went to Glen Eden, even I live at Laguna del Sol, but to go there and have to strip down naked to even go on the tour, that was, I wouldn't say it was challenging, but it was outside my comfort zone.
Right.
And I live at a nudist resort. So
Right.
imagine that you're fully textile person who has an interest to go to a nudist resort. You show up and they say, get naked if you want to get on the cart and do
Yeah.
this tour. I would imagine that weeds out a lot of people, but that's a difficult thing to do.
Oh, yeah. Now, if they show up for the tour, have to get naked for the tour, and I don't want to do that. They have to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're not allowing that person to do a tour or have a day pass. I get the premise behind it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You're gonna weed out all the nonsense.
Yeah.
I get that. But I do appreciate where I live that we still will allow people to come here and sort of dip their toe in the water by going on a tour fully clothed. And then it was my job to get them comfortable
Okay.
and to talk them through their anxieties and tell them the rules so that they could feel comfortable at the end. And I think that's a softer, kinder way to introduce people to a nudist resort than to just say, get naked if you want to get on the cart.
Yeah, because part of the reason they're showing up is to see if it's for them
Yeah,
before their clothes come off. So I don't know if this is for me and you want me to get naked before I'm ready. I can see where there'd be an issue. But I also understand the office saying, hey, we don't want some knucklehead showing up, checking out all the naked women here and having a great old time and then going home.
right.
So yeah, I hate to say I understand both sides because that's so
Same.
indecisive, but
And one of the things that I would tell people when I did give the tours here, I would say it is clothing optional here. Most certainly. The only place that you have to be nude is inside the pool areas.
okay.
However, you're at a clothing optional resort. If you're going to walk around these 250 acres fully clothed, you kind of look like a creep.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
definitely. Yeah.
dress down at least to a sarong, like know read the room,
Yeah.
right? If you're going
That's
to
smart.
be here, don't walk around fully clothed, especially as a man, because you're going to make people really uncomfortable. And the other day I was driving home from the grocery store, and where I live in this resort, I have to actually drive through the whole resort to get to my house. And it was a really nice sunny day. It was probably 80 plus degrees outside, and I saw a couple holding hands walking around fully clothed in street clothes.
Yeah.
That looks strange to me
Sure.
inside our resort. It
Yeah.
just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Now, I get if you just showed up and you are walking to the pool fully clothed, and then you're gonna undress once you get to the pool. I get that. But when I saw them, they weren't on their way to the pool. They're walking around, and it just didn't fit. It didn't make sense
Yeah.
that they were in street clothes walking around. So you notice things like that.
Yeah.
And anyway, when I would give the tours, I would definitely try to get people to think that through. You're at a clothing optional resort. Don't walk around in clothes. You look
Yeah.
like a weirdo here.
Yeah. Yeah. You really do. Yeah. And people will pay more attention to you if you have
Correct.
clothes on. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the early times that I went to a nudist resort, now I didn't start going till I was in my 30s, even though I had lived clothes free as a kid and a teenager, young adult, but getting to a nudist resort was always a challenge. They were just too far away and it was hard to carve out the time. And so I went there and they had, beyond the pool, they had this road, a gravel road, that went all around the club. And on that road, they either had little cabins or RVs or empty lots if people wanted to rent one or put a tent, whatever. They just had a winding road with different lots, and there was nobody there. I got there early on a Wednesday or Thursday, and I thought, for the first time in my life, I can actually go walking up and down the street naked as a jaybird. There's no need to do that. I'm comfortable at the pool, but you know what? I'm going to do it just to be able to say I did it, because I can't do it where I live at the time. Can't do it where I live now. You can do it, but where you live, but I couldn't do it. And so I started walking down this road with nothing on but tennis shoes. And I'm walking, walking, walking. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. Suddenly, a car passes me. I thought, oh, shoot. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. Now, I'm at a nudist resort, for heaven's sakes, or clothing optional. And even that moment of panic, like, oh, no, I'm going to get busted here. And they moved ahead of me, drove ahead of me, and pulled off to one of those lots. And they started getting out of their car. And there were probably 4 or 5 people, all clothes on, because they'd just driven in from wherever. And the timing was just right. I was going to pass them as they were walking toward the road to get to their trunk. And I thought, this is going to be awkward as heck. They're going to call the police. This will be the end of my life. And I walked by them, and not too far away, but far enough, and we weren't shaking hands or anything. And they all just say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you out walking today. And it was one of those moments like, oh, so I guess this is okay with the actual world, but especially in a nudist resort. So I guess that'd be a lesson. You kind of mentioned already, when you go to a nudist resort or clothing optional, the option should be get your darn clothes off, or people are going to wonder what's going on. Pretty good advice.
Yeah, in the main part of the resort where you're going to be seen, I think that is kind of an important thing, is, or at least be dressed down a little bit. If you're not comfortable fully naked and you don't want to be fully naked, that's fine. But street clothes are going to definitely, you're going to look out of place. So dress down
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
put on a sarong.
Yeah.
It's going to make you feel more comfortable. It's going to make the people around you more comfortable. But on the flip side of that, I live here full time, right? Back where I live, I'm not naked all the time. I'm in my clothes. My husband's not always naked. I call him a cottontail because when he's out in our little garden, he still
Yeah.
wears his little shorts, his underwear shorts, right? So his butt is white. That's why I call him a cottontail, because he's just not comfortable gardening fully naked.
Yeah.
But back I'm not really seen where I live because I'm way off to the back. But I love the option of, if I'm going to go take out the garbage, I don't have to put on clothes. I don't have to put on a top. If I'm already just in shorts and no top, I don't have to dress to go outside.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I have huge 16-foot windows in my living room and I'll show you. So my whole living room
Oh yeah.
is just one great big sliding door, and I have that in my bedroom as well.
Okay.
Well, if I put curtains up, it encroaches in my tiny space.
Yeah.
So we don't have curtains in our house.
Yeah.
And I love living in the freedom of, if it's warm enough to be naked in my house. If it's not, I've got clothes on like today, but if it's warm enough and I'm naked in my house, I don't have to be concerned if somebody sees in my window and sees me naked. That's
Yeah.
that's
Right.
not my business. That's not
Right.
their business. It's not a consideration.
Right.
But when I go other places, like say I'm on vacation and I come out of the bathroom naked, I have to, oh my God, are the windows open?
Yeah.
Is somebody going to see me? Am I going to get in trouble? Even though I'm in the privacy of my comfort of my own space, I have to be concerned about if somebody else looks inside my private space and sees how I'm being. And
Yeah.
if that's naked, I could get in trouble for that. I don't
Right.
have to worry about that here. And that's probably the number one thing I love best about living in a nudist resort is I don't have to draw my curtains. I
Yeah.
don't have to modify my behavior to make other people comfortable.
Yeah. Well, you probably said it the best I've ever heard before. You don't have to modify anything. You can just be you and do what you
Yes.
choose to do for the moment. I had talking about your husband being a cottontail. He'll probably hear this, but tell him I recommend no tan lines. Just get out there and go for it. I had just last week, I had this happen to me. I can't believe it's never happened before because life is lived and I've done this a million times. I've just never experienced this. I was in my yard working for multiple hours. It was hot and sunny. It was not 48 degrees like it is where you are. It was in the 80s and sunny, and it's clothes free, other than tennis shoes and socks. The ankle socks.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm naked as a jaybird except the shoes, and I'm just having a good time out there, chopping this, cutting that, throwing this away, just working hard. And when I got done, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a dip in the pool before I go back inside. And so I went into the pool area, got my shoes and socks off, and my feet were white. I had never thought about that before. I was like, well, now I look ridiculous.
Now you're nicknamed Paws. You got little white feet.
That's right. So, as ridiculous as I look, just tell me I recommend highly and no tan lines. You look a lot better, right?
Yeah, and actually during the summer, we go to the pool quite frequently and lose our tan lines. But there is
Yeah.
a freedom in doing whatever activity you're doing,
Yeah.
and you don't have to, again, modify your behavior for other people. When
Yeah.
he plays pickleball, he's not comfortable playing pickleball fully naked. He
Okay.
wears shorts. But I like to play pickleball topless. I don't
Okay.
have to do it naked, but there's no, I like that there's no rules regarding how little or how much clothing is needed for my personal comfort. And
Mm-hmm.
that's every person gets to determine that for themselves. And when I talk about that with people in the textile world, they'll say to me, "You mean people play pickleball naked?" And I
Oh,
have to stop and think, well, I don't know. Let me rewind, because if they're naked or they're not naked, I don't notice.
right.
That's like asking me, do people all wear blue? Well, I don't know. You're not honed in on the color of people's shirts, right?
Right.
You're
Right.
not honed in whether you're seeing elbows or penises. I don't care. Like, they're
Right.
body parts.
Right.
I don't notice how little or how much clothing people have on. I just appreciate that they have that freedom to live their life and wear whatever is making them comfortable in the moment, whether that's nothing or that's everything. I don't care.
I was going to ask you if you had any particular advice or words of wisdom for other women. I think you just gave those words of advice and wisdom. Just live your life, you be you, and get to a position where you can make the decision what you want to do, what you want to wear, right? That might be the best way to go.
Yeah, and whatever you're feeling comfortable in the moment. If it's cold outside, put on something to keep yourself warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's hot outside, you have the freedom to dress down to whatever comfort you want in the moment.
Yeah.
Um, I do appreciate though that here where I live, we have the rules of you have to be totally naked at the pool. And one of the things that I would have to educate people on during my tours that they did not understand is that they are not allowed to wear swimwear. Swimwear is not allowed anywhere on our property at
Right.
any time.
Okay.
And people would go, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
I brought a bikini. I thought it was optional. I go, "But you don't understand. Skimpy little bikinis are way more provocative
Yeah.
than full on nudity.
Yeah.
So when you're wearing something very provocative, you're actually drawing attention to yourself. This is a clothes free area. And we do that because if allow the girl to wear a skimpy little bikini, then we have to allow the man to wear swim shorts, right? And we allow anybody in here. We do
Yeah.
a background check to make sure that you're not a sexual predator, right?
Yeah.
You're not on the sex registry, but we can't do a full on background check of everything, right? And you cannot screen for just people who have ill intentions. So if you're wearing a bikini, then you have to let everybody else wear whatever they want. Well, you don't want to get guys that just come in there to gawk
Right.
where they're hidden behind their clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So have an even playing field where everyone is nude. And that's in the pool area, right? And you're
Yeah.
not having people in their sexy wear
Right.
and creating that kind of environment. It's just like it's a nice neutral environment. But the biggest challenge was getting people, especially younger people, to understand that they can't wear swimwear here. It
Right.
actually um, counteracts the entire environment of what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
And so we just don't allow it. You can wear a sarong, but you
Yeah.
don't have to put on a skimpy little string bikini.
Right. Well, as you mentioned, a bikini always, to me anyway, is more provocative than being fully nude. How do we get people to ever understand that? It just keep putting the word out, and they try it, and a bikini on, and every guy in town is looking. They get naked with other naked women, and oh, hi, how you doing? No, no big deal, or what?
Um, it's just so here's what happens if you understand the mind and what happens in your brain when you see somebody minimally clothed. If they're naked and you're scanning a room, your brain will just see naked people and it'll continue just looking because there's there's no stop action for it to go, wait, this, so what happens is if you're scanning a room and someone's got maybe just like a bikini on, your brain is going to stop and maybe like either undress or redress or notice there's more neurological or whatever. I'm not a scientist, but I've studied these things as far as what, and I'm not using the right verbiage, but your brain stops and does more activity when somebody's wearing just something minimally. But the same thing happens when a whole room is clothed, right? Your brain just kind of sees a sea of people clothed, unless you see somebody maybe in a costume. You're going to stop. Your brain's going to stop on that. So that's what happens when somebody's wearing a bikini. There, it's you draw your brain is drawn to attention to it.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. They don't understand that you're actually drawing attention to yourself. Where if you're fully naked and everybody's fully naked, unless there is something very different about you, most people will glance right past you.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not even going to notice.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of that is because of the media and society in general? Take girls, for
Yes,
example. That's what they see on TV in the movies is all these women in lingerie and bikinis. Ooh, they get a lot of attention. That's what I want for myself. But it's the wrong way to go. You think that's where it comes from?
probably. Yeah, I would imagine that. A lot of it is social conditioning.
Yeah. Sad, but true. That's what we're trying to get away from here with this show and with the whole naturism community. Living clothes free, as we say on the show, clothes free for all the right reasons, not for doing the nefarious stuff we talked about before the interview started. Just being yourself, being your genuine self, being your true self, and making your choices for yourself any moment. I want a
Right.
shirt on right now. I don't want a shirt on 5 minutes from now. You can do that where you are. Any hope in your mind of getting society to recognize that or embrace that in the next 500 years? What do you think?
Oh no, we have way too much indoctrination with religious views um, that is always going to hinder people in that area. I do like I'm not going to get into any kind of religion, but I do like the saying if God had expected us to be clothed, we would have been born that way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think as long as we have, you know, different cultures that have different religious beliefs, those are always going to take precedence over the freedoms of just living free. And yeah, it's too bad that clothing is always going to be seen in the way that it's seen now. In our society as something that's expected.
Yeah. Although, when we go through the Bible, and this would be just Christianity, you mentioned different religions, but just Christianity itself, pretty much everybody was nude back then. And there's a verse, and I'm not necessarily a biblical expert. I can't quote chapter and verse, and like some of those people can, but I do think it's the book of John, and I think it's chapter 13. We'll find out after the show if I'm right. But that's where Jesus is about to wash the feet of his disciples. And what he's demonstrating is servant leadership. I am lowering myself, in other words, because there's nothing too low. I love you. You're a friend of mine. I'm going to take care of you. Not that, I'm Jesus. I don't have to do this nonsense. We can hire somebody. No, I'm going to do it. But the passage says, so Jesus removed his garments and wrapped a towel around his waist and then washed their feet and then dried them with that same towel, implying without question, Jesus himself was nude and had no problem with it, and neither did anybody else in the room. This went on all the time. Now, how did we get from that to 2026? Whoa, it's against religion to be naked.
Yeah.
Like you said, pretty much everybody believes that it is, but it really isn't. Any idea how we got there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And every religion is different and
Yeah.
sees things different. Um, I'm not familiar with that passage. I don't know anything about it. But what did come up for me when you were talking about that is I do need to still in our community, I need to respect that people have these different beliefs,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So as a resident here, I often have things either delivered or I have um, an outside service come, like if I've wanted to, if I need not a handyman, my husband's a contractor, but if I've needed something like a delivery, I need a new dishwasher, something like this. One of the things that I have to always be mindful of and communicate is that I'm at a clothing optional resort because there are religions. Muslim people cannot see other people naked. A Muslim man cannot. So I don't know the religion of that delivery person who's going to come to my house. I need to be respectful whether I agree with their religion or not, I need to give them a heads up. Hey,
Mm,
I live at a clothing optional resort. When you drive all the way through my resort to get to my house, you may or may not see naked people. Is that
yeah,
going to be a problem for the person who's driving the truck to my house? I have to give that disclosure
yeah,
every time I have someone come to my house.
yeah.
And over the years, I've had a few people, businesses decline, whether it was an exterminator, or a delivery. They've called me back and said, "Thank you for that disclosure. We cannot come to my person cannot come to your home."
Well,
And that's their
right.
prerogative to make that decision. I think it's about the reason I bring this up, it's about respecting everyone.
Yeah,
I want them to respect the fact that I live my life in freedom, and I respect that if you can't be in a situation where you see that visually, then you get to stay home. You don't have to come here.
yeah.
No problem. I'll find somebody else who can come here. But but a mutual respect for our different beliefs.
What about if you order a pizza and the pizza is going to be delivered to your home? Do you tell them? Do you just have your clothes on, or what?
No. So when we have pizza, DoorDash, anything like that, we meet them at the gate.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, they don't drive through. I'm referring more to like, oh, I'm having a bed delivered. I'm having
okay,
something big
okay.
delivered. You've got to come all the way to my house, or you're a repair person. You need to come and fix my washing machine,
Yeah,
those people who actually need to come to my physical home
okay,
need to be just they need to be warned
yeah.
so that they can exercise their freedom of their choice as well. The respect goes both ways.
Yeah, and that's the pushback I get when I say what basically what you just said. They'll ask me, people have said to me, well, to me, Frank, why do you have to be the one giving in? You love to live clothes free. It's your house. They can come in or not. And you can be as naked as you want while they do whatever. That's true. I can't, I don't have a good argument for that other than 99 point whatever percent of the population wears clothes, it seems like. So that's always the sticky area for me. Now I never, literally never, answer the door unless I have clothes on. I know people. Hey, it's my house. I'm naked. I'm answering the door. Well, okay. I don't. I don't necessarily support that, but even I question myself. Why don't I support that? What's your answer?
So I don't support that because just answering the door naked, if you live in the textile world.
Yeah.
Now, where I live at a clothing optional resort, I will always if I'm naked, I'll open my door. You
Okay.
you got to read the room, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Well, if you live in a textile world where 99% of the people have an expectation that you're going to be clothed, I think it's respectful to honor that, because most people are not going to understand if you open the door and you're naked. It seems like a confrontation, and
Yeah.
it's not necessary,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
not It's not necessary to do that. So if your stand and your intent is, this is my home, I'll be naked if I want, well, then put your home in a place like Laguna del Sol, or a place where you can be naked.
That's
Like,
right.
just I think it's about being courteous to
Okay.
people around us, because
So,
that's where, if I lived in the textile world and I'm answering the door naked, I'm sending a very different message.
yeah. So basically, because most of society, like the overwhelming majority,
Yeah,
lives textiled, we should respect their boundaries when they come to our home to deliver a pizza, for example.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah. No, that's a good answer. I'll use that answer the next time I'm pushed on that, because people will ask, well, you're a nudist, you live clothes free, pizza shows up, just answer the darn door. Well, yeah, but, and then I get pushback on that. But your answer is good. I like that. Well, it's
Yeah.
been great to talk to you. I've been talking to Nancy Sigl, She lives year-round at Laguna del Sol. She's been in a movie with Tim Chismar, Naked Alien Massacre, which comes out later this year. Nancy Sigl, before we go, any final message for the listeners, or particularly women, or just in general?
No, I just feel like I think the challenge would be for everyone to maybe at some point in their life go and visit a clothing optional resort, right? Um, there is a certain level of freedom that you can experience. It's interesting to shed your clothes and shed all of the pretentiousness that goes along with that. Um, when you are meeting people, it's a different environment. Nobody at a resort like this asks you what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Right? So you get to know people on a different, deeper level. And it's just a different way of being. And so I would challenge everyone to, at some point in their life, go and do that for a day. See it's if it fits you or suits you. If it doesn't, it's fine. But if you're judgmental of it, you should at least try it on for size before you make any comments about what you really don't know.
Yeah, that's very well said. And kind of like your husband did when he first met you, he showed up and he stayed. He's still there.
He stayed, yeah.
Which happens a whole bunch of times. People, I don't know about this. I don't know. Well, we'll try it. And whoa, why didn't I do this before? It feels so great. Well, again, we've been talking to Nancy Sigl, lives year-round at Laguna del Sol, coming up in Tim Chismar's movie, Naked Alien Massacre. And Nancy Sigl, thank you for being with us today. Go out there and have a great clothes-free day. We'll talk again soon.
Great. Thank you.
You bet. The very terrific Nancy Sigl, a genuine nudist, done a little nude acting in her life, lives year-round at Laguna del Sol, and we thank Nancy Sigl for all of her time on these last two Saturday shows. And on the next two Saturday shows, which will be episodes 217 and 219, our special guest will be Jonathan. He writes the blog, The Orthodox Nudist. And before we head for the hills until Wednesday's show, let's bring back in our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Welcome back, Lisa.
It's good to be back.
Now, the story we got into during the earlier segment about your experience on the boat, some people might say, well, that's not naturism. Well, you're correct. That's not naturism. But the name of the show is Naked, Nudists and Naturists. The word naked is, the first word. So it was a naked story, and it was a fun story, and it was funny. And to you, and now if you would have been, petrified, it would not have been funny, but you took it in good humor, right?
And I did, and I knew that there was nothing untoward going on with anyone, and besides, like I said, I was already a home naturist for the most part, and so it wasn't a thing that bothered me.
Now, just to be clear, did any of those 20 officers ever stop you, while you were driving down the road and say something like, ma'am, you're going a little too fast. Please stay abreast of the local laws here. They didn't try anything like that, right?
No, they did not. They did not.
Just making it clear, so we cleared that up and everybody's off the hook. Very quickly, Nancy Sigl. We need more Nancy Sigls in this world, don't we?
We sure do, and I am so jealous of the fact that she gets to live as a naturist and not have to worry about the things that we worry about in our neighborhood. So, yeah, it was a great interview. She's a terrific person.
And I always like that story, always will like that story. She was online, met a guy online. Yeah, you want to make me come to this place, the nudist resort. And he shows up, and she showed up basically naked or close to it. No makeup, hair wasn't done. Here I am. You want to go on a date, and let's do it. Otherwise, we'll see you, pal. And he ended up staying like 4 or 5 days and then ended up getting married. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
He knew a good thing all around when he saw it.
That's right.
There you go.
All right, let's head for the hills. You promised to stay naked as a jaybird. We'll get together Wednesday. Is that a deal?
That sounds like a deal.
All right, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudist, and Naturist, episode 215 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. and on most Wednesdays, 12 noon Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked Nudists and Naturists.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked Nudists and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.